Okay, so this is an old piano bench, and unfortunately we had a potted plant sitting on top of this in a terracotta pot. And stupidly I didn't realize that the terracotta soaks up the water and then retains the moisture. So what happened is it ate all the veneer off of this. So what I was left with is a little divot where there was veneer layer here, and then this was all eaten away. So I had to strip the rest of this veneer off because we want to make it kind of an impromptu coffee table. So in order to do that, what I had to do is I had to put a towel on here. First I soaked this towel in water, and then I put it on there and let it sit. The reason you do that is because the glue that holds the veneer on is a water-based glue. So water will just dissolve it. So I put that on there, and what happened is the water soaked through in spots, but it was still dry in a lot of spots. So what I ended up having to do, and this took me like a day to do, was that I had this towel on the top, or a towel on top, bath towel, and then I would take a glass of water and I would pour it on the top. And the towel would actually keep most of the water on the surface here. Some of it would drip off. So you want to make sure if you do this, you put it on a surface that's not going to be damaged, because this, what will happen is the water will run on here, get on the stain, dissolve some of it, and then it'll all pull down here. So for example, if it's on a carpet, you could stain your carpet. So anyway, I left this on, it was probably a day. I probably poured water on it like 2 or 3 times to keep it on the surface. And then about a day later, I would constantly check it, but a day later I came back and I could just peel the rest of the veneer right up. So the wood's still a little wet. So what I did, it actually, since it wetted or made the top a little wet, it slightly bowed it. The wood swelled a little bit, but I'm not really that concerned about it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back and I'm going to sand this down and make it smooth. And originally I was going to put some brown paint on there because the surface is damaged. It's never going to look good, but I don't have any brown paint. But I do have some of this light walnut stain that I used on the sliding glass door when I installed it. So I'm just going to put that on there and call it done. And I will show you the veneer, what it looks like in the trash can upstairs. But it's pretty simple as that. You know, you can do what you want with the surface. That's up to you. But to get the veneer off is not really that big a deal if you do it by wetting the surface and dissolving the base adhesive. Okay, so I've sanded it down. That didn't break. I've used 60 on this, and then I've used 100 and then 220. The surface is still pretty wavy. You know, when the water was sitting there all the time, put some divots in there. I mean, the top should be planed down, you know, with a planer. I don't have a planer. I don't really care if it's wavy, to be frank. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it down with alcohol. Now, I'm not going to give you any kind of tips on finishing. I don't really. I've done a couple. I'm not an expert. The experts will probably tell you to wipe it down with something else, but I don't have that something else, so I'm just going to use alcohol. Now, I was going to use rubbing alcohol, but it's 91% alcohol. So I have some of this Everclear. This is drinking alcohol. This is 95% alcohol by volume, so I'm going to wipe it down to get all the dust off. And I can see the top is loose a little bit, maybe it cracked, I don't know, I don't care. So I'm going to wipe it down and then I'm going to put stain on. You can see this isn't a good day to stain outdoors. It's foggy, it's real misty. I don't really care. I'm just going to stain it, take it inside, let it dry, and that's probably going to be about it. Forgot to add, I used my DeWalt dual orbital sander for this. So like I said, 60 grit, 100 grit, 220 grit, and just wiped it down with alcohol. You can see it's drying very quickly because it's alcohol. And then I'm going to just stain it outside and carry it inside and let it dry. And maybe a day or two later I'll put another coat on. Who knows? Okay, so there's what the first coat looks like. It's still wet, as you can see. It's going to dry. Most of it's going to soak into the wood. I'll probably come back and sand it again with 220, coat it. Let that dry, sand it, coat it, but that's what it looks like. See, there's some dark water stains still in there, but I don't really care. Okay, so here's the veneer that I took off of there. There's actually no adhesive left because it's water-based, like I said, all dissolved. So once this is soaked through, then you can just peel it right off without any effort whatsoever. So that's how you get veneer off. It's an easy process. Just make sure you put the item on a floor that's not going to get damaged, because some of the stain might run off onto, say, a carpet or something. And that's how I did it. And thanks for watching.